Carolina in Fort Worth claims innocence of all charges. Former YouTube darling Carolina in Fort Worth released a new video to her channel explaining why she is definitely not guilty of all the charges she's facing from the incident with the police officer in Fort Worth earlier in the summer that left her hospitalized. Carolina is now facing 3 charges from the incident, including resisting arrest, interference with public duties, and false reporting. Going in order, Carolina claimed that BZ Watchdog told her to watch the shadows on a replay of the incident where she was arrested and ended up on the ground. He claimed the shadows are proof that the arresting officer used 2 hands on her one arm, causing her to flop around uncontrollably. For the second charge, Carolina said that even though she was ordered to leave the area by the officer and she refused, instead asking a question, it could not be interference in a crime scene as she didn't refuse to leave the area, as she claimed she didn't have time to leave the area, even though she refused to leave the area on camera. Finally, for the third charge, Carolina said that the officers would have had a hard time proving that her screaming of "fire, rape, help" was a false report, as the officers she screamed it at did not react to her screaming. Of the 3, this might be her best defense, as she was screaming it to get the attention of the officers and didn't seem to have the intent of knowingly reporting a false or baseless emergency that could cause an action from the emergency agency or put someone in fear or prevent them from occupying a building or vehicle. Carolina made headlines earlier in the summer as she entered a crime scene, thinking that it was simply police clearing a parking lot of illegally parked cars. Instead, it was the scene of a hit-and-run DUI incident where the suspect had fled on foot. The YouTuber walked through the crime scene, and while she wasn't stopped from entering by an officer working the scene, she walked through the crime scene attempting to approach 2 female officers to ask how they knew which cars were parked illegally. A male officer approached her and told her that she had to leave. When she refused to leave, he went to put her into custody. A struggle ensued, and Carolina ended up face down on the concrete and unconscious and bleeding. Both camera angles seemed to indicate it was a combination of Carolina struggling and the officer attempting to regain control of her that sent her into the ground. There's no clear footage exonerating the officer or backing Carolina's story. Carolina announced that she would write speeches to give to anyone who wanted to come to the next Fort Worth City Council meeting and speak on her behalf. She has yet to file a civil lawsuit against the city of Fort Worth's police department.